were they up there, 10 minutes?
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Yeah. What were her findings? That's my question.
Well,
what did she learn?
Daisy, which is super important. It shows you how quick the flight was. The dead daisy that's like snipped from its life source was still alive or still vibrant.
Yeah, and it's
Look
always
at her. Shout out Daisy.
Wow.
I love you, Daisy.
I think that you'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and to receive until the day you launch, because you're leaving all the love behind and you're surrendering and you're hoping that you get another chance to love them again. And so when you come back down, you're like, oh, I get another chance and I'm gonna do it.
God. Your woman with her daisy and everything. Just shut up. Just shut up.
Comes back down, kisses the earth.
Oh, shush, don't even. Oh,
Are you fuming about it?
Fuming.
Why?
Because they cannot call themselves astronauts. How can they call themselves astronauts when they were up on a jolly for 11 minutes? And there already has been an all-women crew up in space anyway, proper astronauts. And yeah, it was ridiculous. Your woman with her daisy and everything. Shut up. Just shut up.
Are you speaking? I look forward to your next interview with Katy Perry.
No. That just absolutely ridiculous.
When Katy Perry signed up for a civilian spaceflight, she probably imagined a future filled with glowing headlines, pop icon breaks barriers, or Katy Perry soars beyond the stars. Instead, she got memes, a tidal wave of them, and not the flattering kind either. The kind where you accidentally become a running joke on the internet faster than you can say zero gravity. Her dream of empowerment quickly took a sharp nosedive, not unlike how her dignity seemed to re-enter Earth's atmosphere without a parachute.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Oh, God, pause. Can you imagine being an actual fucking astronaut? You trained for 93 fucking years. You're literally a fucking genius. You went to the Air Force when you were 18 years old. You worked your ass off. You read 1,000 billion books. You did like 40,000 fucking hours in space learning everything.
You lost your kids going to Jupiter.
And this fucking lizard
She's hot.
No, you're not.
Play it.
I feel super connected to love.
Okay.
So
Pause.
This is where you lost me. It's if anyone's ever gone skydiving, they land with so much adrenaline. How is she so calm? You were just in space and you're like, I was listening to the Calm app the entire time. I'm so zen and connected with the universe.
Here's the funny thing. These motherfuckers didn't go to space. They do.
Honestly, I feel like I have the same view on a Southwest flight.
Jeff Bezos sent his wife up there. Do you think a little bit he was hoping it would explode?
Of course. Dude, of course.
Yes.
Dude, this was a hit job that didn't fucking execute properly.
So was that what they landed in, or that was the only thing that shot up?
This is a straight up dick. This is not real.
Bro,
this is not real. I don't care.
My mom is one of those in a room.
Rather than celebrating her galactic adventure, the internet treated it like a poorly written SNL skit. It wasn't seen as a victory for women, science, or humanity. It was seen as a $250,000 ticket to the Look at Me Club. Fun fact, civilian space flights typically cost between $200,000 to $450,000, depending on which billionaire you choose to ride with. Bezos, Musk, Branson, it's like picking your own expensive theme park. Instead of inspiring millions, Katy inspired memes, hot takes, and a universal eye roll so intense it might have shifted the planet's orbit slightly. And every time Katy or her PR team tried to reframe it as historic, the internet found even more creative ways to turn her into the poster child for tone-deaf rich people adventures.
Let's not minimize this.
No, I know. It's a big deal.
Let's celebrate female astronauts.
And because they were united.
Because a lot of men astronauts, they have to go to school.
Right.
They have to learn how to be a pilot first. Then they have to join the Air Force or the Navy. And then they get appointed by NASA.
That's right.
And then they go to space. You know? Let's not minimize this. No, the problem with that story is that she was rescued by a very awful person who wants to expose fraud and waste.
Yes. Did Musk rescue her?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Where's that in the news?
Things really went off the rails when Joe Rogan entered the chat, metaphorically speaking. On his podcast, Rogan didn't even need to name names. The sarcasm alone could have fueled a rocket launch. He painted the whole event as one giant, shiny, tone-deaf spectacle. The kind of PR stunt that makes everyday people who are just trying to afford eggs want to scream into the void. In typical Rogan fashion, he mixed brutal honesty with a side of mockery so thick, it probably needed its own oxygen tank. He joked about how selling a celebrity's space joyride as a historic achievement for humanity was like calling your trip to Disney World a cultural awakening.
There's only one way to
wonder
find
if
out.
all of them were they? You think they were like prepared to die? No.
Katy Perry was prepared to die.
Yeah,
That's why
in
brought
her
the Daisy.
eyes, something's off.
She looked like a soldier.
The internet, of course, devoured it. Clips of Rogan's takedown spread like wildfire, or faster if you consider that some wildfires at least take a few hours to trend on Twitter. Fun fact, Joe Rogan's podcast averages over 11 million listeners per episode, meaning Katy's space trip didn't just fail quietly, it flopped in front of a live studio audience called the entire internet. By the time the memes, reaction videos, and TikTok parodies finished having their fun, Katy's historic adventure was less Neil Armstrong and more, why did we let her do this?
I've never seen a group of motherfuckers waste so much money in 11 minutes. This is the reason why we're the laughing stocks of the world right now. You know how much money they wasted that could have went to people that's starving, people that's homeless? They didn't even have on the right equipment to go into space. You telling me they went to the edge of it and then turned back around? What a waste. This shit just looked fake to me. But look at this.
Got it? 1, 2, 3, take us space!
Look, shit look like it's AI.
Tamir's in space!
Wow. Normally when you hear people finna go to space, they normally finna be up there for a month or so, not 11 minutes. Like, why couldn't that money be used to decrease the egg prices? Like, literally, did Jeff Bezos send his wife to show that nothing was gonna happen? Or he didn't care about her being collateral damage? Nevertheless, the next time y'all decide to send somebody in space, send old Donnie Boy and Elon Musty.
For Katy, reality hit harder than a re-entry capsule without a heat shield. The space trip that was supposed to cement her as an icon ended up cementing her as the internet's latest inside joke. Behind the scenes, things spiraled fast. What started with a few memes quickly snowballed into full-blown PR chaos. Sources say Katy was completely blindsided. She genuinely believed she was inspiring people. Instead, she woke up to a social media inferno where she was the main course. There were frantic phone calls to her management, tearful late-night rants with friends.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space for the future. And for me, like Gail said, this wasn't a ride, it wasn't a destination, it was a journey, and it was a supernatural one. And my journey has always been about love and belonging, and I think that we have all felt that sometimes we weren't worthy or we didn't belong in certain ways, no matter all the accolades, no matter all the studying, no matter anything. And I think today we all said it, like, we belong here. This is where we belong, and we feel very sure of that. So
emergency sit-downs with PR consultants who probably had to Google how to fix a celebrity space scandal. Because, let's be honest, nobody had a crisis handbook for this one. They tossed around buzzwords like reframing the narrative and controlling the discourse. But trying to fix Katy's image at that point was like trying to staple water to a wall. Every new statement, every attempt to explain the historic moment, just gave the internet fresh ammo to turn up the roasting sessions even louder. History have shown that public opinion online can turn completely negative in under 6 hours, and Katy managed to break that record in about 3. In private, Katy was said to be devastated, not just because people were making jokes. It was the whiplash. One moment she was prepping for her grand cosmic debut, the next she was starring in TikToks titled, "When Your Midlife Crisis Costs $250,000.
I think that you'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and to receive until the day you launch, because you're leaving all the love behind and you're surrendering and you're hoping that you get another chance to love them again. And so when you come back down, you're like, oh, I get another chance and I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God, now I'm crying. Okay.
The sting wasn't only about the failed PR stunt. It was about realizing she had completely misread the room. A room filled with people struggling to afford groceries, gas, and rent, while she was floating around in zero gravity calling it empowerment. At some point, it stopped being about Katy Perry entirely. It became a symbol of something bigger, the growing disconnect between celebrities and the real world. While most people are worried about student loans and medical bills, a millionaire in a sparkly jumpsuit declaring herself a space pioneer just didn't land the way she thought it would. And every new attempt by her team to explain, justify, or rebrand the trip only made it worse, like trying to put out a grease fire with a bucket of gasoline. Katy's meltdown wasn't just another celebrity PR blunder. It touched a nerve way deeper than that. It highlighted something people have been quietly annoyed about for years: the bizarre way fame, money, and privilege keep getting packaged as relatable victories.
The craziest thing about those bitches going up into space is them coming back down and being like, well, aren't you inspired? No, hooker. What the fuck could you have possibly done that would have inspired me in this moment? You spent over $10 million to go up to space for less than 20 minutes. Less than 20 minutes. You could have ordered a pizza before you went up and it would not have arrived by the time that you came back down. And then what did you do up there except for stare at a camera and giggle like a bunch of dumb fucking heifers? It's embarrassing. Honest to God. You know, back in the day, people with money used to actually spend it trying to further their fellow man. They used to add additions onto schools and hospitals. They used to donate money to conservation and the arts. You know what would have been inspiring? You donating money to your local library would have been far more inspiring than you spending over $10 million to go up into space, fuck around, and then come back down and say, you want to know what? Jeff Bezos is actually a pretty neat guy.
Think about it. The world's out here rationing toothpaste, and celebrities are out here making $400,000 space rides sound like a group project for humanity. No wonder it didn't sit right. It wasn't personal hatred toward Katy. Most people didn't suddenly become anti-Perry, they were just tired. Tired of being told to celebrate things they could never dream of affording, while the price of eggs is still giving everyone mild heart attacks. And when Katy's team kept doubling down, trying to guilt-trip the public into clapping harder, it only made the backlash nastier. The louder they shouted, historic achievement, the louder the internet shouted, please stop embarrassing yourself.
6 months. And he was saying it was unbelievable, like how difficult it was to recover once you get back to Earth. He couldn't walk. It was just like a total vertigo. Like his whole body was like so not used to gravity. All of his bones were weak. All of his muscles were weak.
But these bitches seem fine, these ladies.
Well, for now. Let's not minimize the sacrifice they made for a great nation. For the world, in fact. For the world. They're profoundly different. They're profoundly different now.
To show people. Well, it's inspiring.
That's what I'm saying.
It's inspiring. If a guy who's worth what, $1 trillion, several billion, 100 billion.
Yeah, just imagine the conspiracies if they didn't make it.
Yeah. Well, Pete, there's already people saying that they faked it, which I think is silly.
Well, I love those people,
but it's great.
Those are the people that think space is fake.
That's right. Yeah, but there are already people going, well, they faked it, and I'm like, I hope they fake something better than that. I hope. If they're faking stuff, and they probably are faking some stuff, God, I hope they're faking stuff that's better than that.
I think this is the confusion. I think the confusion is that they essentially got to the threshold of space.
The whole situation became a messy reminder. Inspiration feels hollow when it's sold by people living in a completely different universe. No rocket ship required. Since the Great Space Faceplant, Katy has been keeping a noticeably lower profile. No more grand declarations about smashing barriers. No more triumphant selfies from the stratosphere. Her team, probably nursing the world's biggest PR hangover, quietly shifted gears. Now it's all about the music again. New singles, upcoming projects, a sprinkle of nostalgia. Anything to gently steer people's attention away from the galactic disaster that was her spaceflight.
Because Katy Perry was doing a lot. In fact, Gayle K, they asked Gayle K, they were like, hey, what was it like? And then she was like, oh, we get up there and Katy actually sang. When we were up there, she sang What a Wonderful World. We were up there. And to me, just to me, that sounds like a little too much. We only gonna be up here for like 5 minutes. I don't know if I want to be floating, listening to what you've elected to sing to us. It wasn't like they were floating like, Katy, now! Like that wasn't... I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not saying anyone didn't enjoy it either. All I'm saying is that that's what Gayle Cake said, and when she said it, I had hoped. This is what I genuinely want from the bottom of my heart, is for Katy Perry to have sang What a Wonderful World like Louis Armstrong. That would have been fire. I'm not gonna lie. That's a Katy I can get behind. If people, I see his ring, floating. If Katy Perry had been floating.
But even though people have moved on, that memory, Katy Perry's ill-fated space adventure still floats out there like space debris. A cautionary tale for anyone thinking a $250,000 selfie in orbit is the way to win hearts. Sometimes, when you shoot for the stars, you just end up crashing into a wall of memes instead. In the end, Katy's trip to the stars technically did make history, just not the kind she had in mind. Instead of being remembered as a fearless pioneer, she accidentally became a case study in how quickly where good intentions can get vaporized when they're launched into the real world without a reality check. And instead of inspiring millions, she inspired memes, roast sessions, and a permanent seat in the Hall of Fame for celebrity moments that missed the mark. If there's one lesson here, it's simple. In space, no one can hear you scream. But on Earth, everyone can hear you crash and burn. In 4K, with auto-tuned remixes on TikTok. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this.